Welcome to the podcast. We talk about all the things that are hidden in the shadows. This is Isaac, and on this bonus episode, I am joined by our Shadow Walker Paranormal's first participant we helped that was outside our circle with a certain case that he was dealing with, Mr. Barry Rick. How you doing?
Hey, Isaac, how you doing?
One of the main important reasons I wanted to bring you on is because, like I said, you were someone we helped out that was outside our immediate circle. Well, actually, you're not even in the same state, but
No.
yeah, your case that we dealt with is like I was telling you, like, you can brag about, like, you're the first that me and Megan helped that was first person we helped out outside our immediate circle. So you have that title to hold.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I want to thank you so much. Anybody who listens to Hidden in the Shadows and needs help with an attachment to get rid of it, you should really talk to Isaac and Megan, because they helped me immensely. This thing has been attached to me for a decade.
I didn't pay for that PR, so.
Anyway, should I just go ahead and say when it started and all that?
Yeah, I mean, that's I guess a situation like how you started before you actually called us, in a sense.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm 65 this year. I'm a retired nurse anesthetist, and I've always had a belief in the paranormal, been interested. I've listened to Coast to Coast for, all the way going back to the Art Bell days. And then the advent of podcasts, and here's Hidden in the Shadows. But before that, about a decade ago, I was living on the farm with my mom and helping her out. She was about 80 at the time, and she decided to go on eBay and buy a chair. Now, she's a Midwestern 80-year-old farmer, still in great health. I mean, she could run circles around me, but still, she needed help on the farm. And she decided something new. She's going to buy this chair off of eBay. Well, brings the chair home, and everything seems just fine. We bring it into the house, and that evening, after everybody had gone to bed, I'd walk by this chair, and I thought, wow, I can't be making that much wind to make this chair rock back and forth. It was on rollers, and it was a kind of a recliner roller chair. But anyway, it would rock when I walked past it. And then I noticed the next day I was sitting at the breakfast table. I look over and the chair is rocking by itself. And I thought, what in the heck did we bring into this house? And that night, that chair went to the went to the junkyard.
That's when things got worse.
Absolutely. The next thing that happened was I was, this sounds kind of pedestrian, but I was going to wash clothes. And so I had collected all of my dirty clothes, put them in a laundry basket, set it outside my room. And I come back from mowing the lawn or whatever, and my laundry basket's not sitting outside my room. And I thought that was odd. I thought, I don't really want my 80-year-old mom carrying that downstairs. And so I opened the door to my bedroom. I turned the light on, and I kind of do this Scooby-Doo. I'm dating myself. I was backpedaling so fast. There was this rug on this hardwood floor that I fell down, because what I saw was this great big lump under my blankets with a teddy bear sitting there on top of it, with my old Army, Class A Army hat sitting on top of this bear. That's what I saw after I turned the light on. And that's when I knew that we had gathered something from this chair, that by taking it to the dump, didn't take it away. And that was 10 years ago. And things have gotten certainly more out of control. I mean, I have a lot more stories, Isaac.
I know people want to hear them.
Well, one of the things whenever I would leave, the thing attached to me and briefly to my mom in the house, like messing with us. Well, for instance, my mom, she had all these Beanie Babies, and I would I had to open the door to my bedroom, turn on the lights because I've been, working out on the farm all day, and I would see a Beanie Baby hanging by its neck from a rubber band. My bed, my mattress from my bed was pushed because it was sort of a shotgun bedroom situation. There were 3 bedrooms right in a row, and like one bedroom led to the next. So you open 2 doors and all 3 bedrooms are kind of connected. Sort of a weird layout. But anyway, my mattress would be at the furthest bedroom, laying on top of my mom's bed. And there would be Beanie Babies perched on top of her fan blades. So if she had walked in the room, turned the light on, and the fan, all these Beanie Babies would have been spit all over the place. The most unnerving thing was when I would see these Beanie Babies hung up by rubber bands or ropes or this entity, which, by the way, I found out after, like I said, I listened to Coast to Coast and a number of programs like Hidden in the Shadows. Like I said, attached to my mom and myself. I would leave the farm, and my son-in-law and daughter would continue to call me whenever I was gone because all hell would break loose. Chairs, like when they would be in the other part of the house, all of our furniture would be tipped over. Or there would be dining room chairs, heavy wooden dining room chairs sitting on top of the table. Many times when we left the farm and came back, the radio in the garage would be at full blast, nothing but static. Now, this has been going on for a decade. We lived at the farm. I lived at the farm for 6 years, and this kind of hell was going on all of the time with the radio. One day I was working on an air conditioner, and I was, fixing an electrical cord. Well, I came out, I couldn't find the 2-wheeler that I had used to carry the air conditioner around, or the air conditioner. I go looking around, and this, I'll just say my attachment, had taken the 2-wheel trailer and pushed this air conditioner to the furthest part of the farm to where we had a little outhouse, or not an outhouse. It was a building out at back of the farm. Now, how can a specter use a tool? How can a specter use a 2-wheel cart? That still blows me away. Anyway, like I said, I used to listen to Coast to Coast, and now the updated podcasts and so forth. And like I said, this is a decade ago. And on Jim Harold's program, I had heard this author talk about a shaman in Michigan. So I contacted the shaman, and he channeled in and found out that this entity he didn't know how old he was, but he had been about a 30-year-old guy who had committed suicide, and his name was Eli. And he can actually see him as a shadow figure. I can't do that. And actually, his wife, my daughter, could see him too, because one night all hell was breaking loose. I had gone out, immediately called me, there's, hell's breaking loose. Once again, the radio's turning on in the middle of the night. So I came back, and I always knew there was trouble when I would drive up and there'd be a flashlight on our fence pointing down their long driveway. So I knew things were bad. And so we were outside, and all of a sudden there was like flashlights coming from the beam coming in these various windows. And my son-in-law was out trying to catch up with, I don't know what he was going to do, but he was going to try to catch him in the act, I guess, this Eli. And so my daughter and I are looking out one of the windows. It's pitch black outside. And my daughter and I are standing there looking into the darkness outside. And she said, John, is that you? That's her husband. And she goes, oh, it's you. All I saw was darkness. But what they described Eli was he was darker than the night as a shadow figure. So to me, I've never seen him. He's invisible. When he used to be around, uh, he would show himself to them as a shadow figure. I only got the tail end of his shenanigans, which is what led me to calling Isaac and Megan, because now running it up currently, what he would do is just tear up my bedroom, or I would walk into my bedroom and all my vitamins and medication bottles would be stacked on top of one another. I don't know how he balanced them. They were like 2 feet tall. My mattress, once again, you got to think for mattresses. My mattress would be upended off my bed. And this thing is big. It's a king size mattress. Not easy to move. I don't know how these entities have so much strength. Sheets off my bed, the mattress, and, clothes off the hangers. And it just got to be too much. And once I started listening to Hidden in the Shadows and found out that Isaac and Megan as a duo could pull these things, that's when I contacted Isaac. Megan, he took care of it for me, and it's been peace ever since. You and Megan are just fantastic.
All right. To fill in some blanks, where you are currently is an apartment building, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I know I kind of skipped around. That's just how my old brain works.
It's all right.
So after my long soliloquy, I'll fill in whatever blanks you want me to. It helps if you'd lead me. So
yeah. Because when you called us and you messaged Megan, you messaged us to the Instagram, or you emailed us. That's right, you emailed us. When Megan remote view in, you basically told us you live in an apartment, and now you live on the second story of that apartment. Right. And I remember when the first time we called, we couldn't figure. I pulled something from your place via the phone, which I've become good at, but I didn't know I could do that until actually I did it the first time. But your apartment, where it was on the second floor, was significant to the situation that we found out after the second call. The first call we did, I pulled something from your place. It might have been Eli, might have been an entity, because when we found out that there's a portal underneath your bed, and it's not necessarily underneath your bed like someone put it there. Whoever was on the downstairs below you, the apartment below you, created it, and it kind of shot up from where it was directly underneath your bed. So wherever the portal was in your downstairs neighbor's apartment was directly underneath your bedroom, which created that spot for dark energy to come forward. Hence why your bed kept getting messed up more than anything.
Right. That was since we've lived here a couple of years, and that my mattress,
because the first time I went through, I just pulled what I felt there, and then when Megan came, she remote viewed in. She basically guided me, saying that it's underneath his bed. Which I remember I asked you to put the camera down there, which is kind of weird, and that's where I felt it. Yeah.
Well, in a way, I wasn't surprised that there was more than the entity that was bothering me, because if you remember, my son-in-law, he had counted at least 3 and a little girl, but you never saw the little girl. But you know what? I wonder if the little girl was maybe that Cheshire smiling thing that was sitting guarding the portal.
What we figured out, at least ascertained from the situation, is that the portal had a guardian, which was, like you said, the Cheshire face demon, which we call the Cheshire face demon because it had a giant grin like the Cheshire cat. It was there guarding the portal, because the portal was put there on purpose, and that's why it was so strong for me to pull, because the energy from it was intense, like not anything I've ever pulled before. Yeah, because I think I took Eli the first time, and it didn't change because stuff kept getting out to that portal, and that's why your son saw multiple entities because they kept coming through that portal. And when I grabbed it and I closed it, the Cheshire face demon was the only thing left, and I believe he was in your living room. Was the
Right.
last
We had
time
to
I saw.
chase it.
Yeah,
I mean, you had to chase it, didn't you? Bedroom out to the, from the bedroom to the living room, right?
yeah, because Megan was saying that it was in the living room.
Right.
Yeah, but what we found out recently from helping our next person, which is Mariah, I now have a grasp of how I close portals. It's something I haven't told you about, so this is new to you as it is to anyone listening.
Okay.
um, Mike, the psychic on our team, said when he sees my hand and he sees my ability work, it's like he's seeing tendril strings launch out of my fingertips and attach to whatever entity I'm pulling. And I'm basically pulling them into the center point of my hand, like the energy itself. So it's like they
Really?
wrap around and attach, and they pull the entity in. He calls it like the lasso of truth, like Wonder Woman's lasso of truth. How it's like it almost glows, the tendrils when they wrap around the entity. So with that idea in mind, when I closed the portal at Mariah's place, I saw, or at least I have the imagery of what I'm actually doing. The tendrils from my hand attached to around the portal, and they grab and they start squeezing and closing the portal as I'm pulling the energy at the same time.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's how that the portal closes.
Now well, Mike can see that.
Mike sees it.
Okay.
This is how I imagine how it works.
Oh, okay. Okay. I misunderstood you there for a minute.
Yeah.
The lasso of truth.
Not how I kind of want to see it, but I guess, yeah, that's what he sees, how my ability works. Instead of like it being essentially a vacuum, it's not that. It's that the energy from my hand basically like wrap around like the entity itself and kind of pull it in to my hand. He sees it, but that's probably a good representation of what I'm actually doing.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because I always kind of tried to figure out how that energy it's got to be bigger than your hand. I mean, not to be so literal about it, but it must look like something like that, how like the Spider-Man web picturing in my head as your fingers, the extensions of your fingers. But listen, you're not producing a web. I'm just thinking that the energy extending from your finger and hand.
The aspects of how helping you, I guess the amazing part behind it is that you had a shaman come in and try to move these spirits on, but it didn't work.
He didn't want to. I prayed for him. I'm a Christian, and said that he would aid him to the light, but he didn't want to go. The reason he gave was that he knew what this place was. He didn't know what was the light. So I don't know what that tells you. Like you said, I don't know if it was channeling or if, what is the other term for it? I just lost my thought on there. What Megan
Crossover.
when she, no, not the crossover, when she does her medium stuff where she goes to another location. What's that called?
Oh, remote view.
Yeah. He remote viewed and somehow, however he did his shamanistic ways, communicated with Eli like a one-on-one thing. And he just absolutely refused to go. Thank you once again. I mean, it's been, as I said before, it wasn't as violent or as energetic, I'll say, the last 5 years like it was the first 5 years. Thank God. I don't know what I would have done, but he followed me. I had moved out the farm and I moved to Las Vegas. Followed me to Las Vegas. Then I moved back to Minnesota, moved back to Las Vegas again. And now here back to Minnesota, and has been attached to me the entire time until you took care of it. Like I said, in Vegas, it wasn't, I don't know, he was not as energetic. Uh, how I knew he was there, he would leave things stacked. He likes stacking things, or used to. And, when you'd find your remote through a television somehow standing on end, he would do all those kind of things just to let you know that, hey, I'm here. I didn't forget about you. But now it's like having a breath of fresh air. It has been so peaceful because if you think about it, walking into your house, never knowing night after night, like you said, you like to do these things at night, for 10 years, wondering what you're going to find, what kind of mess you're going to find. Because some of this stuff just startles you. Doesn't really scare me, but when you walk around the corner and, I have you will have this plastic thing that you set things on, and to walk in your bedroom and have that being in pieces, dismantled, or just having to rearrange things. In fact, I'm divorced and to remarry, but by having this entity attached to me, I didn't know if I wanted to find someone, because how do you explain that you have this attachment? Unless they believe in the paranormal, they're not really going to want to be with you. So now you've opened that avenue, and I didn't even, so love's on the horizon. Well, you're, like I told you guys before this, you both are aces in my book. I just can't thank you enough for, you think about it, every day for a decade, wondering what's going to happen next. Like I said, it doesn't really frighten you after a while. It's just, it gets just tired and sickening, and really, can really make you feel down. And I've had a little pep in my step since you took care of it, Isaac.
I always, with helping you and helping other people, and hopefully future people too as well, is that the quote by Lorraine Warren is always stuck with me, especially with what I can do, and is that people were sick to go to the doctor. When people are robbed, they call the police. But when people are dealing with stuff like this and have no one to turn to, that's where we come in, and that's what we do. What we do, and if I have an ability and to take these things forcefully from things that do not want to leave and that are causing torment to people that they are haunting, essentially, and I do nothing about it, it almost feels selfish to not do what I can do. And I have that consistent strive and take as much as I can off the plane. And those that are just attached to places and buildings and they're just consistently haunting there, granted, I'll get to them in time, but the ones that are specifically targeting people and targeting their homes, those are the ones that I'll make the top of my list. But bringing you on was what me and Megan wanted to do, because we know there's more people out there that need help, but they might be hesitant to, because they either don't believe us or they think we can't entirely do what we say we do. So we thought, well, why don't we just bring Barry on to talk about his case? He experienced it firsthand. He knows how it feels before and after.
Well, I'd listen to all your podcasts. Gosh, how long has it been that we've been communicating back and forth? Last couple of months, right?
Yeah.
You remember when it was that you pulled the first time? Well, anyway, I'd started right from the beginning. I think it was Hillbilly Horror Stories. I think I heard an ad for your podcast. Anyway, wherever I heard about it, I started at the beginning and I listened all the way up, and you were talking about helping people. And I didn't contact you for a couple of months because I didn't want to bother you. It's like, maybe my situation isn't bad enough. Well, yeah, of course, I just explained for however long I've been talking with you now about how bad it was and how it made me feel. But um, if I can say this to the people who are listening, you're not bothering Isaac and Megan. They really want to help you. Don't wait 2 or 3 months before you contact them, because the result, at least in my case and the other case that you just been talking about, was so really done so quickly. I mean, my case was basically 2 or 3 phone calls, and you pulled twice. And I don't know exactly how much work which you and Megan do on your end to prepare for all of this. With your busy schedule, it's a lot of mental work. But please, anyone listening, don't play with an attachment that's there to help you, because it's the best thing that I've ever done. Paying me for this ad. Believe it. Huck and Megan are the real deal. I'm just so pleased. As you know, every time I either texting back and forth with you or Megan, I'm sort of gushing. I'm like, I always tell Megan I'm a fanboy. 65-year-old fanboy.
Yeah, yeah. I guess one of the like I remember I was reiterating, but yeah, appreciate all that. But one thing, like I was saying before, is that you're going to be the first testimonials from people that we've talked or going to hopefully do more of. I know we're going to bring on Mariah later on to share her story and stuff like that, which I know you're interested in to hear someone else's perspective that we help.
Oh, gosh, yes. Yes, absolutely.
So I mean that's something in the future to look forward to when it comes to that, and hopefully more cases in the future. Because me pulling through electronic devices is something that I never thought I would be able to do, but with enough practice, apparently I can. So
pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
I know you always you can't thank us enough, but like I said, like it's what we were, I guess, made to do in a sense. And I just
and once again, you just do it well. And I gotta tell you, when you talk about people being skeptical, okay, that they'd never heard anything like your special, I mean, people have heard of mediums and psychics and all of that, but why couldn't you be a physical medium? That's what I call it. You're a physical medium rather than a psychic medium. I'd never heard of anybody do what you can do before, which is pretty amazing if you think about it. I remember one of your podcasts, you said that there was only like one other person that you had talked to who actually did what you do, right?
Yeah, it's Jane in Australia. She pulls positive energy.
Correct. Australia.
Yeah. She pulls positive energy though and helps cross it over to the other side. It's kind of like the opposite of what I do. Instead of pulling darkness and imprisoning it, she pulls light energy and then transfer it to the other side.
So when you have entities, like when you're in that library, what was that library that you went to numerous times? And it was a little girl that wanted to stay, went there with your first paranormal. You can help cross over positive too with your left hand, right?
I mean, I can pull the positive energy, but I choose not to, because I'm ripping essentially someone off the plane by doing so. So you can imagine what I do with dark entities, but to light entities. So that's why I never use the pull ability with my left hand. I use it to feel around and find something, but as a pulling something off the plane, no, I never do that.
No, I didn't mean that you pulled positive off the plane. I thought that you helped. I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I was misconstruing that with the young woman in Australia. Because I know that you talk about that you get sensation in both hands, that your left is your positive, but most of your work is done with your right, correct?
Yes.
Only the negative energies?
Only the negative ones.
So you're like Popeye with the...
Oh, yeah.
I'm in the spirit, Isaac. human
I,
spirit.
I know.
I'm just thankful, like I said before, that I didn't wait longer than I did. And that's why I encourage everybody to not to wait, because you do really want to help people like you helped me. And what a relief. As I said before, you put a little skip in my step, knowing that I don't have to wonder whenever in the evening when I've been out, when I come in, what am I going to have to encounter? Because it just gets really tiring after a while. Like I said, not so much frightening. There's been a couple of times where I get the chilly bumps, but that sort of went away a long time ago, a decade ago. Like I said, the way that John and Quinn saw me was a shadow figure, an outline of a man, just all darker than night, moving around.
I do appreciate you coming on, Barry, and sharing your side of the story that we told.
I hope it wasn't so that it wasn't too disconnected, a sort of freeform thought there. But thanks for asking me. I really appreciate it. Very honored to know you and Megan.
And you can always hold the title because you're the first.
Yeah, kind of cool.
But I appreciate coming on and sharing the story. Hopefully it gives people, anyone who listens, enough confidence to contact us.
You're really giving me closure. Continue to listen to you and Megan on your great podcast. And I just wish you much success with helping more people and with the podcast and with everything. Like I said, you guys are aces in my book. Always will be. I'll never forget you ever. I'll be talking for as long as I live. I'll be talking to people about what you did for me, because I'm not afraid to tell people I have a ghost. There are people who are very uncomfortable in whatever, when I strike up a conversation with different people don't want to think that there are ghosts or entities out there. And I really don't care, because ghosts are as real as you and I. Spirits that just don't want to cross over for whatever reason.
Yeah.
That's the thing the shaman could not tell me, why he didn't want to cross over. To me, that would be hell. Just a hell of a way to exist. Sort of like your only joy comes out of messing with people, or messing with one or two individuals and following them around. Still don't understand how we got attached to that chair, because it was an elderly couple that sold it to my mom. So I don't know what the story was. I sure would like to have known, but we got rid of a perfectly good chair, or I did, and kept the ghost. But thanks for your time, and thanks for asking me to come on. I really appreciate it.
No, maybe it's as much as you're thanking me, I thank you. So, because like I said, it'll hopefully give the person the confidence to come contact us.
Hope so too.
Yeah, but I do appreciate everyone who's listening. And as always, you can catch us on social media, Hidden in the Shadows Podcast on Instagram, Hidden in the Shaw 6 on Twitter, Hidden in the Podcast 2 on TikTok, or links to all of social media, and always listen to us at hiddenshadowspodcast.com. Also, you can email us directly through there, or if you have a paranormal situation, you can contact us at our Hidden Shadows Podcast on Instagram, which is the best way to get in touch with us, or the Shadow Walker Paranormal Instagram as well, which is our paranormal team. So, yeah, there's two ways you can contact us. But as always, we'll catch your widows in the next one.
Monster